Hello, everybody. I hope you are having a super fabulous day today. It's so excited. I am excited to be here with you. I am Amy, and this is Amy's Inspiration Station. And thank you so much for tuning in to the Altenew YouTube and Facebook channels. And I am here talking about stencils today. And specifically, I am talking about stenciling tips and tricks, and especially with our favorite little brushes. And so I would love to know, are you a convert? Did you like convert over to Altenew mini blending brushes? I would love to know. Let's see who's here. Hello, Terry. Hello. And yes, thank you so much. If you share this live while we're live, you'll be entered to win a gift card. And I see Cynthia. Hello, Cynthia. Cynthia, I'd love to know if you have this stencil, which we are talking about the White Cap Peonies right now. Cynthia, what's like your favorite color combination? I was kind of, messing around a little bit with some ideas for that one. So I'd love to know. And hello, Miss Tamp. I'm so glad you are here. And I see Jane from Wisconsin and Barb, from the Pacific Northwest. Barb, when is it? No, actually, you're coming up to May. May in the Pacific Northwest is absolutely gorgeous, I know. And I see Carrie here, hello, and Sharon, and it's Jelly behind the badge, hello. And we have Terry from upstate New York, and Sue. Sue, weather is not good today, I got to tell you. Sue and I live near each other, kind of. So, and Shiomara, and I see Christine. Oh, thank you so much for sharing this, Christine. And you too can be like Christine and be entered to win a gift card. And we have Jelly behind the badge today. All right. And Fran from Maryland. And all right. I'm so excited. Hi, Geraldine. No longer. I know. Hello, Geraldine. How are you doing? And Cynthia from Alberta, Canada. Hello. And Deb. Deb, how are you doing down there? And Wendy. Oh, thank you guys so much. And Terry, you have the brushes. Yeah, you're a convert, right, Terry? Wow, Carrie, you had snow this morning? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my gosh. Kelly, yes, also a convert. All right, love to know. Are you a convert to the mini blending brushes? I know I had a ton of different brushes, and then I'm like, these came out, and I don't ever touch my other ones. I really just even go to these ones, and I'll show the difference between them. So if you have any questions, or you yourself have not converted over to blending brushes, let me know. And I see Wendy from British Columbia. Hello. And Judy from Nebraska, and Olivia, Central Ohio. Oh my gosh. And Kelly, working on one for every color. Kelly, that would be my dream. I'll show you my trick. But this one, not so much. And Christine, oh, good, I'm glad. And Terry, thank you so much for posting this on Facebook. And you too can be like Terry and be entered to win a gift card. And Carrie, yeah, I know. I feel like you need them. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to get down to my mat and we're going to talk. So I'd love to know if you have. So I'm using the White Cap Peonies, and this is part of the Stencil Art subscription plan. And this is great because this comes out like every other month, but it's so beautiful because you have these amazing stencils that are layered, and then they come with also these the dies as an add-on if you want to. So iceberg Easter. Oh, that's beautiful, Cynthia. Yeah, those would be gorgeous with this one. All right. And hello, Helena. I'm so excited you guys are here. All right. So let's go ahead and get down. And I am going to start with what I'm going to be doing today. I have a little bit of a trick. I'm hoping it's going to work out. Of course, that's always my hope, right? We're going to do this. Yes. And I do. Oh, Deb, just you wait, Deb. Just you wait. Deb's already... I did not plant Deb in the audience. She already segued into some of my little tricks. So I am talking about the stencil art set, which is so fabulous. Charlene, hello. Also someone else from the Pacific Northwest here. And Wendy Drizzly, oh my gosh. And I would love to know, Angelica and I would love to know, have you tried any stencil art products lately? These are fabulous. This one is gorgeous. And if you are just joining us, we are talking stencil tips and tricks. And I would love to know, if you have this set, do you have like a favorite color that you're putting it with, or a favorite colorway? Because peonies are great because they are so many different colors. And that's what's really super awesome about them. I have white ones, I got dark pink, I got light pink. They're really, really beautiful. So what I am going to show you guys is some of the brushes. I don't have the new like small flat ones, but I will show you these brushes. And I also going to show you how I store them. So These are great. So these are the large blending brushes. And I also aspire to have a whole bunch of these, but I got to tell you, I go for a little bit where I try to work some stuff on this. So I actually only have 3 of these. I am hoping to get more. I need a yellow one because I have one in blue, pink, and green. And then these actually clean really easily with a microfiber cloth. You just put it off, and they'll even though this looks like wicked stained, it's not green. Well, maybe it's a little, but I can just put it on microfiber cloth, and then it's super easy to get off. So those are the large, and this is great for backgrounds. So those are super great. Hey, Joni, how are you doing? And I see Geraldine. Hello. All right. And Terry, you don't have this set. Well, we'll see. We'll see if you end up wanting to pick this one up. And then these are the small blending brushes. And what's fabulous about these, and you can kind of see like how these are there's so many bristles. And so it really gives this fabulous coverage, but it picks up so much ink and actually will transfer that ink down. And what's nice about these ones is I like them for giving me some little bit of a soft, there's a lot here, but that one is, it's nice and soft too. So it's going to give like a little bit of a soft background, a little bit of a lighter one. And I have 4 of those right there. And I do just keep these in the box. And the box is nice because I just keep them right in the box, and I have those ones. Oh, Sue, yeah. Even impresses your husband. That's huge. All right. And Sue, do you have like a favorite colorway when you do this one? I know. Oh my gosh. And then these, of course, are the famous mini brushes. And I'm going to answer, Deb. I'm finally answering your question right now. And so I don't have a way to like store them. So this right here comes from this. So when you get like a 12 pack of markers from Altenew, and again, it's beautiful packaging, but I like to take them out and I put them like on a shelf kind of thing. But if you get a 12 pack of markers, they actually come with this. And so I repurposed this guy, which is holding my markers, into my mini blending brush storage. And it's super nice. It fits 12, so I have about 2 of these. And I'm working on collecting some more of them. But these are go-to because I feel like I can do, relatively larger areas, but I also can do really small areas. And I feel like depending on how you use them, if you're going in circles or you're kind of going this way with it or whatever it is that you're doing, these are really fabulous for that. In fact, I'll put my little other magenta guy back there. And then these are the detail blending brushes. And these are great because they have 3 different sizes. And you have this little wedge tip. So if you really want to get into like a super, super like little tiny area, this is great. All right, Christine, that's a great idea. You keep your minis in a votive candle holder jar from the dollar store. That's great. And anybody else have any other ideas about how you're storing them? I know we'd love to have a ton. Now, Altenew also has, I do not have them, but you can actually get stickers to put on the back of these that go with your, like a specific color, ink color. And it's the same stickers that you would put on the markers. And that's why these fit in a marker box, right? So you can see that circle is just about the same size. This is a little bit wider, but it's just about the same size. So what you put on that marker sticker is also going to fit on the end of your blending brush. And that's one way, if you're like, yes, I want that, it would be great. Joni, always put that into customer service. So it's they may, and I know they came up with or something's coming out with some storage ideas for these that are coming around, but this is kind of my little cheap way of repurposing something. So those are the brushes. The only one that I'm missing is there's a long handled one that is about this like width and this length, but instead of it being angled, it's flat and it has this top. And that's what's nice about it. So if you really want to kind of get detailed in there and you don't want to get hand fatigue, or if you're like, oh, this is just too small, these ones are a little bit nicer too, because you have a nice long one there. So those are really super nice. So we're going to be using all of these today in different ways. And I'm going to walk you through what the heck I'm thinking about today. And again, I would love to know if you have the White Cap Peonies, what are your like go-to colorways? I would love to know that. Mini blenders, store them in the alcohol marker plastic rectangles. Me too. Me too. That's what I do right here, Jerry Lynn. Absolutely. And lipstick holder, clear acrylic. That's nice, Sharon, because then you have each one of these is in its own, right? Because each one would be like the size of a lipstick. Used to sell the container. Oh, that's a good idea. And yeah, order the storage box. Oh, Annie, yes, thank you. And Jelly, if we could put in that, I don't know if you can get the storage box or pre-order that storage box, but that would be really nice to put in that. And yes, there we go. She's got it. Oh my gosh, she's amazing. That's amazing. All right, so let's talk about this stencil. So this stencil is it's really cool. It actually is a layered stencil, so it comes with 6 of them, and they could create on sheets for the colors groups. Oh, updated the swatch sheets for new colors. Yeah, I know. That's I got to tell you though, I always like doing swatching, Christine. I find it's a little bit relaxing, but yeah, that's a great thing to add into for Altenew customer service for those. They're always looking for ideas to help make your life easier. So you can just go in and craft and do whatever the heck you want to. All right, so this comes with 6 stencils. And I love how large this is. So this is a 6x6 stencil. And I'm actually going to do this in 2 ways today. And I am going to do it on a piece of white cardstock. And I cut that out to 6x6. And so we're just going to stencil right on this. And I think that that's going to be really, really pretty. So, and then the other one, I'm actually going to stencil on here. And I know I'm going to turn these upside down, but I'm going to stencil on here. And I'm going to stencil on black. And I think it's, you know, let's just for a little bit of a different look. So we're going to be doing both of those today. All right. And, oh, that's great. And yeah. Yes. All right. Okay. So let's get started. And I'm going to keep these over here. This is a fabulous thing to keep because I always keep this like next to me. And that's because I use it as a reference point of where the heck I am going. All right. So for my colorways today, I was kind of thinking about what I would like, and I'm using a mix of crisp dye inks, which are our older formulation, and I'm using a also our fresh dye inks, and both of these are dye inks, so you can use them interchangeably. And the reason why we've obviously have changed manufacturers, so we're going into a newer formulation. I love these. I just don't have them all yet, and so I am just kind of mix and matching as we go along. All right, so I'm going to start out. I really thought I wish that there was like a purple peony. And so that's what I'm going to start with because I don't have that in my garden. Instead, in my garden, I have a gorgeous, gorgeous like magenta peony that comes out. And I have white and I have a very, very light pink. Those are my peonies. And I'm so excited because they're going to be coming out, you know, really, really soon. All right. So as you can see, I have a, oh, that's a good idea, Ms. Tamp. That's, you know, you can grab one, get the measurements, and then try it out for, to see if it fits into like other type of storage, like for, like you said, for screws and stuff. Yeah. All right. So, oh, that's right, Tracy. Tracy, you know, I was channeling you and thinking of you. This is the stamp wheel sticky mat. And what's nice is you can take this out of your stamp wheel, or like me, you just buy a couple of extras. And so this is like my dedicated stenciling piece. Now, I did do this to 6x6. I probably could cut this a little bit smaller, but so this is just going to fit right on top of it. If I cut this to like 5.5 by 5.5, in fact, you know what? I will do that because I think, yeah, I'm going to cut this a little bit smaller, and that will make my life a little bit easier. Oh, Ash, you let us know. So if you post it to social media, if you like text a friend, you put it on your Facebook page, let us know. And then you'll be entered to win that gift card. And let us know what you would buy with it. Do you have enough stenciling brushes? Maybe that's the thing you might want to get, are some stenciling brushes. So I know, Sharon, there's like not enough purple in the world, right? Not enough purple. Okay. All right. So because I just cut that, now I have like just a little bit. So my 6x6 is going to go right over it. And this is a big guy. If you need like a little bit of extra oomph, I'm just going to grab my satin masking tape, and I'm just going to tack that on. And I don't need to tack the paper. My paper is going to stay because I have a sticky mat. So it's really just my stencil. So that's all I'm tacking now. Here. All right. Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Jill. You'd get more of the large brushes. Yeah. Jill, how many do you think you need? What do you think is the optimum number of large brushes? And Jill is talking about these ones right here. What's the optimal? Die cut first. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Carrie, I'm going to be die cutting afterwards, but I'm going to try to do it in a way that I'm trying to make like getting a card and a bookmark out of this, but we'll see how we go. All right. So this White Cap Peony has 2 flowers on it, and I'm going to do this one in purple, and it does have 4 layers. So I'm just going to come in, and you can see right away that because of the way these bristles are, I'm getting that beautiful edge to it. So it's coming right off. And I love that. So you can see as I'm putting this down, I kind of want to get that edge just to get that dark, little bit of dark. So it's some variation. Oh, I know, right? Tickled pink. Want more artist markers? Yes, Terry. Oh my gosh. I love the artist markers. They are so easy. I do a lot of, because I have kids and a lot of sports. And so when I am sitting in the car waiting for the sports to finish, so then I can take them home, that's where I actually do a lot of crafting. I don't know about anybody else if they end up doing that way, but that's kind of how I do it. So that's what's great about the artist markers is you can go ahead and you can just grab them. And then Altenew came out with these pouches that are really, really fabulous. So I have these pouches. In fact, I have one right here. I'll show you guys. Since we're talking storage today, what do you think about that? Angelica's like, yeah, these pouches are fabulous. So I just take my thing and I just stick it in here, all my markers and everything else. And this is nice. And then I just take it on the go. So these are super great to have. Large brushes, 2. Oh, that's a good idea, Sharon. So you have 2 for each colorway, 1 light and 1 dark. That's a good idea. I like that idea. I'd love to know, what do you guys think? How many is enough? 1 enough, 2 enough, 10 enough? I'd love to know. All right, so now I'm getting into the middle, and I can actually flip over, and I'll show you guys what the difference is. So if I peel this up, you'll start to see that I have this really, really nice edge, and I'm just getting that from this, but it is a big area. So I want to show you that when I use the small blending tool, and this is just going to cover a nice lot of area, I can do so much. So I'm putting down a lot of color with very little effort. And that's what's nice about these ones, is you can just put that color down. And again, I'm looking for, and I'm kind of concentrating on these edges and getting those colors. And I am going in a circular motion. And the reason why I'm doing that is just because I don't want to see any strokes. I want it to be as even as possible. If I want to get it a little bit darker, I can actually take the edge of my brush and just push it in. And by doing this, and I'll show you guys the difference. And by doing that, when you start seeing it, you can see that I'm getting a much more defined edge over here. So, oh, that's a good idea, Ash. Fellow crafters in my area. That is, I usually, if you have any stores available, sometimes they do that. There's classes, things like that. That's always helpful. And we offer some retreats. So I know the May one is sold out, but our next one is going to be in October. And sometimes we meet people through there too. One, yeah, I think so. Oh, Barb, I'm so glad. Barb, do you have this one? This is the White Cap Peony stencil. So pretty. So, so pretty. All right, so that's my purple one. And now I'm going to head over and I'm going to start going to the next level. Now, this sometimes happens, and I have to give the biggest shout out to Altenew customer service because and Angelica, don't you think so? You guys are just so absolutely fabulous. And I had a situation where I seem to have received a product that I missed a stencil to. So you'll see me skipping stencil 2. It's not a big deal. And then I email customer service, and they're so fabulous and so responsive, and absolutely love them. And so I'm going to show you guys if anything happens, or if you want to, if you need to fix anything, I'll show you how to fix things. So we'll get there in a second. So it's not a big super deal, but we will get there. All right. This right here is actually the middle of the upcoming flower. So you can see on here, this is the middle. So I'm going to do this flower in pink, but I don't want to do this in pink because that's actually the middle of the flower. So that's why you really want to keep that. You really, really, really want to make sure that you keep that over there. All right, so this is the fresh dye ink, and I'm just going to grab, in fact, I'm going to use my yellow because this is really a large area. And so now I'm using that small blending brush. And you can see how nice and soft, but how quickly it goes on because those bristles just catch all of that ink and just put it right on. Look how pretty that is. And this is Sunray from Golden Sunset. I thought that was a nice yellow to use. Okay. All right. So I got my first one. Yes, the fan group is on Facebook. Ash. Yes. And I agree. Actually, I wasn't even thinking about that, but that's a really great way. There's challenges on there, and you can post, things that you do with Altenew products. And everybody loves to see it. Such a nice community. Such a super fabulous community. All right. I'm going to grab my third one. Okay. So a lot of times when you see stencils, you'll see like this line, and that just means that this is another part of the image. So we're not going to use this yet. We're going to use that next. But first, we're going to line up the one we have here. And these line up so easily. And we're going to put this right on here. There we go. Okay, and there we are. I agree. Ms. Tamp said very quick turnaround. They are. I don't know how you guys do it, Angelica. You guys are amazing. The Altenew customer happiness team is amazing. Love them. Super fabulous. All right, here we go. All right, so this is actually, I'm going to go a little bit deeper. And I'm going to head over to my third one here, which is Deep Iris. And I'm just going to use the same brush. So I use this with Soft Lilac, which is that lightest one. And I'm just going to pick up a little bit, tap that off, and then I'm going to go right in. Now, I'm not going to do like the swirlies because I want to get a nice edge here because we're starting to build those highlights and lowlights, right? So this is that darker section. So it's the underside of the flower. And so I want to have this to be dark, but I also want to have some variation, right? I don't necessarily want it to be all one color. So I'm just adding in as much of this as I can. So you can see I'm just kind of tapping it in. And by doing that, I'm using the edge to my advantage because the ink is not going to go down even. It's going to go down a little bit darker right off of that edge. And I'll show you what I mean in a second as I get to it. Oh, that's so great, Michelle. I hope she joins us. All right. And I'm just going to grab my Altenew tweezers. And if you were with us a while back, we talked about the multiple uses of Altenew tweezers. These are fabulous because they are fine point, and I use them for just about everything in the craft room. All right, so here we go. And I know it's a stencil, but I'm trying to make this, have those areas of dark and light. because that's what's going to provide me with some depth. Okay, and I get this one section. Now I can go even a little bit further because I have some other places, and this is where having the detail brushes come in. Oh my gosh, Cheryl, I'm so excited that you are here, that this is your first time checking out an Altenew Live. We are live every Monday and Thursday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because that is Altenew time. And so these come in 3 sizes. We have a 5, 7, and a 10. So it's really just dependent on what you're going for. I'm going to grab this middle one. And again, what's fabulous is that it's angled, okay? And you don't need to rush, like put these under water to clean them. And you'll see, like I have blue on here, but that blue, okay, except for that, if you have any extra, then you can just use a microfiber cloth and just get that any extras right off, and it will come right off mostly. So that's great. Oh, I hope so. I hope so, Angelica. We'll see. It's going to be nice. I like the green. I think the green's going to be pretty on this. And I hope I'm going to have time. If not, I don't have time to show you guys it on black. Oh, it's pretty cool. So I can take the same color and I can use that angled brush and just add in to areas that I want to. And what I actually like to do sometimes, and I know I have the deep iris on this, but I'm actually going to grab my midnight violet, and I'm going to go a little bit deeper. And you can even, because I don't want it everywhere, I just want it in like little small sections. So this way I can get it exactly where I want it. And that's what's beautiful about that angled little brush. So I'm just going into little sections and just adding this in. And that's the fun part about stencils, is you honestly, you can't mess this up. But I'm just adding a little bit. And this is where the directions help a lot, because you got a sense of where exactly, what it's going to be and how everything is going to look at the end. And again, you know what? So you make a mistake, it's paper, you cut it up and use it as a background or whatever. And the more you use your stencil and you get used to it, the more you'll understand where those highlights and where those shadows are. So get those stencils out, try some different colorways, and see what the heck you got. So I know I got to do the other one, but I just wanted to show you guys this purple now that we put some of those things in. And so when we lift this up, you can start to see it has a little bit of dark and highlight. So it's really nice. Absolutely, Deborah. And like, you don't even have to stay. And I like to stay within colorways. It's probably just me and my rule followingness. But you can go outside of a colorway. In fact, I can add a little bit of brown there. And in fact, I think I'm going to grab a little bit of brown. And I can add a little bit of brown, and it's just going to give it a little bit more oomph. All right, I'm going to jump over to Snapdragon. And I'm going to go right back to my mini blending brushes. And I'm just going to put these right in. And look how much color this puts down. So easy. And I am just working, I'm like angling this thing to really work as much ink into that section as I possibly can. All right. There we are. Oh, all right. So now when I pull this up, you'll see. Look how cute that is. Oh, love it. Now, I sometimes will clean this off as I go along, especially because this is a purple. And it's one of those things where, I don't know about you, but like I try to keep my stuff as clean as possible. I know even when I had my Barbies, I used to put them back in the original packaging because I'm crazy. Although I know I should keep this, but the Altenew stamp cleaner, it cleans everything. So super easy to use. And the ink just comes right off. It's really, really nice to use. And when you're using things like purple or magenta or really dark red, you do want to try to clean those as quickly as possible. And even if your stencil gets stained, it's not a big deal. It's still effective. I just like to try to clean it as much as possible. So, all right, so now we got our purple. And let's pop that over here. And now we're going to go over to this side. And so this is the section where we're going to add even more of that detail. And again, I'm going to check this large image, and where we're heading to is where this kind of terracotta color is. And that's that deep, deep, deep color we're going to have in there. Okay, so this is going to go right here. And again, it's very, very easy to line up. All right, excellent. And just again, I don't really super need it, but just in case, I have a little bit of my masking tape, and I can reuse that masking tape over and over again. In fact, this is from another craft session. I still just keep it on there. I know, I love that, Tracy. Clean stencils give us the control. Oh, that's too bad. And alcohol spray. I sometimes will use that, Wendy, but I try to, just in case, open flames and whatnot. But you definitely can. But these are water-based inks, so you can use a water-based cleaner on them. Okay, so now we're going to go in with that Midnight Violet, and I'm going to use my angled brush again. And this is to really get and push that ink into everywhere where I want. And this time I want to get it as dark as possible. So I'm going to layer this up and then get that in there. Oh, ink on your forearms. I know, Deb. I have to say I'm a teacher, and when we used to use an overhead projector, we get all the marker on our arms. I feel like that. I'm trying my best not to get it everywhere, but that's, I feel like it's a badge, right? It's like, hey, I stenciled something today. When I go out and get a cup of coffee at Starbucks, everybody's going to know because I'm going to have ink everywhere. All over everything is where that ink is going to be. All right, so I'm just taking a moment and I'm just laying down kind of this first layer. And because this is purple, I can do one of two things. I can come in with like a brown, and that will work with this. Or I could come in with a warm gray, and both of those would work. But I'm going to come in with a little bit of a darker color. All right, so everything's there. And I always like to look. I'm one of those people, I couldn't even wait, for Christmas morning. I have to look for presents. I need to take a look. And that's really nice. And you can kind of see that. But I want to go a little bit deeper. And so I'm going to grab, let me grab a brown. So I'm going to grab one of my browns. Which I don't have. All right. I'm going to grab this one. Now, in the Crisp by Inks, we had this jewel tones. These, we still have these inks, but they're kind of in some different places. So. Oh my gosh, Cynthia, first Altenew. Cynthia, we need to know what the heck is in your first order. We need to know what's in there. Oh, all right. So now I don't want to get this everywhere. What I want to do is I just want to put it into some of the sections, and I'm just going to blend this out. So that's why I'm just using the edge of this to get it into some sections. And this is just going to give it just a little bit. It's almost like an outline. That's all I wanted to do with this. And it's going to be super subtle, but it's just going to give it a little bit of an outline. And these areas are so small that I'm just getting that right in there. But for these larger areas, I'm just coming in and just doing a little bit of an outline. And you can use a brown. I picked up a rhodolite. There we go. But any type of a darker color. So now when you take a look at it, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Can you see that difference? So this is my original, very, very light. Then you have, that's the deep iris. And then right here is the Midnight Violet, which is the darkest color of the set, but just coming in with just a touch of that rhodolite, it just outlines it just slightly. And so it's able to do that. And that's the beautiful thing about having these types of brushes, these little small angled brushes, because you can really get in there and it just gives it a little bit of an edge. And that's where it's going to, stuff is going to start to pop off the page for you. So, think about your colors, use your color wheel and see what you can do. All right, so let's put this back. So this is starting to come together. I'm going to clean off my purple because this is definitely going to stain on there. And now we're going to get ready for the other flower. So at this moment in time, this flower is kind of there. If you want to add any more, I'll get to details in just a second. Oh my gosh, Geraldine, Tickled Pink is like the worst, absolutely the worst for staining stencils. Love the color though. Color's gorgeous. Man, you got to just, just be like, you know what? It's going to stain it. It's okay. We're going to be okay. It's just going to do what it's going to do. All right. So now we're going to head over to 4. So over on 4, what I have here is now an outline of this flower, and we're going to be putting in some extra pieces. And you can see I have another section up here. We're not going to talk about that yet because that has that solid line. So that means it's not part of this main image. So we're going to put this on. And now you can see what we're doing is we're starting to put in some of these greens, and we're going to fill the other pieces in. There we go. And again, I'm just going to use my little bit of tape and put that where I need it to go. All right. All right, here we go. So again, these always come with instructions. And so we'll take a look at this and it will color code what the heck is going on. So this section, because it's light pink, it's going to be the outside of our second flower. And then we have this green part, which is going to go right here. And then we have this, and then this part just comes up right there. So that's what it's showing you, is that this is going to be part of up here. So that's where we're heading to next. Okay. All right, so I want to do this color in pink. So I'm going to grab my pink, and I'm grabbing Cherry Blossom. And I thought this was a nice color to do with this one. All right. And I'm just going to go right. I'm just giving this the base color. But I thought these would look pretty together. I was actually also thinking about like having a steel blue because I thought that'd be cool. But I went with the warm colors on this one. And this pink diamond is very, very light. And if you're ever nervous about like, oh my gosh, they're so close to each other and my brush is so big, just grab a piece of scrap paper and you can just put that right over there. And then you don't have to worry about it. So it's all good. All right. So I heard some people mentioning the subscriptions. Yeah, it's again, customer service is fabulous. So if you have any questions, and then Angelica put out the fan group, and the fan group is a great place to go to share inspiration and ideas. There's some challenges on there. And of course, we're always live on Mondays and Thursdays at 3:30. And we love seeing what you guys make. I think that's probably the favorite thing. Is anybody excited about wax seals? Has anybody gotten wax seals yet? I am actually looking forward to those. And there's a new class by our fabulous Lana Tabor. And that is our Crafting 101 class for wax seals, which I'm really excited about. I think it's going to be really cool. Okay, so I'm using the Green Meadows ink set. And so I'm actually going to start out with the lightest color. And I am going to use my mini blending brushes. And that's just because this is a little bit of a small space. And you'll notice again, I'm just coming in right from the edge just to get that nice, very, very defined edge to it. And then I'm going to come over the top with the lighter one, with the small blending brush. And that's going to fill in my spaces. So, Oh, Christine, you just got your wax seals. Were you a wax seal person beforehand, or are you like a convert now? Like, tell me, because I tried and I was like, I don't know, but I'm so excited by all the new designs and the colors of the wax that I want to know. Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Sherilyn. I love it that you guys are here. This is definitely, I think crafting is like the best time of my day, right? I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but it's like the time that I can be a little creative and kind of, you know, wherever the wind goes, and I just follow it. That's the way I kind of feel with this. All right. Use them in junior high. That's funny, Teresa. Oh my gosh. Right? I do have to say, when I visited China, I bought a seal from of my name. Yeah. All right. So again, I'm just using this as the small blending brush. And the reason why I'm using this is just to quickly cover when I have a large area. But because I use the mini first, you get that nice defined edge to it. And that's kind of why I do that. All right, so now I'm going to go over to this side. I'm going to keep the same color scheme. So I have the Sunray, and I'm going to use my small blending tool. And just because I can cover this, it's nice and soft, and I can cover it really, really super quickly. And I'm going to just make a little bit of a darker edge right there. Okay. All right, beautiful. And then I'm going to come in with that second piece. All right. All right, here we go. And as I put this in, I can see where this is going to go. And it looks like I just want to do, I know we put that other piece in, but I think what I want to do, no, I think I know what I want to do. So sometimes, again, it's really fabulous that you try out different things and use your stencils. And maybe the first time you use your stencils, it's not going to be like exactly what you want. Maybe it's going to be something a little bit different. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to fill this in, because this is obviously like the overview of this section. And I'm going to fill this in with Sunray. And now I'm going to come back to, and I'm going to flip this. And I think this was giving it a little bit more definition. And so I'm going to come in, put this down again. And now I'm going to come in with some chamomile, because I think there's another way to go up here. In fact, there's two more. So I'm going to come in with some chamomile. And I'm going to go over and use my mini blending tool, because I have some edges. And since I have like these little pieces that are a little bit flippy, what I'm going to do is use these guys and just keep that flippy down. All right. I am also going to go right off the edges, and I'm going to try to keep the middle a little bit lighter and just kind of work this from the edge. And when you have a flippy like this, you can just kind of go right next to it. And I'm just going to pounce that right in. And while I'm here, I'm just going to pounce this in over here too, just to give it a little bit of definition. Okay. Now, this will make sense in a second, but we'll get there. Oh, absolutely, Martha. Thank you for saying that. I have to say, one of the things I love is sharing with other people. I think that's my favorite part. And that's also why I love Altenew, because that's really what we're about is, you know, what can we do and share our ideas and move along. So I just want to point out, so now you can kind of see where there's that dark and the light regions. And I didn't go all over with that chamomile when I flipped it, right? I just stuck to the edges in that because I always want to make sure that this is like there's just a little bit of light in there, just a little bit of light. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. We are moving on to our next one. And so that was 4. So we're going to move to 5. And so here is 5. Now for 5, oh, wow. Look at that detail. So we're going to get a lot of detail coming up in this. And it looks like we're going to add a little bit more green here. So this is going to get a little bit darker. And now we're going to add in that extra, or that second layer of that pink. So we're going to put that one in here. And again, I always like to check and kind of have an idea where I'm going to, because that's going to tell me where I want to put that dark and that light, right? That's where I want it to go. Oh my gosh, aren't they the best, Wendy? So fabulous. And so I'm looking and seeing like, okay, this is going to be pretty dark, but we're going to go even darker for this part right here. And then over on this side, this looks like this is going to be pretty, I still want this to be pretty light because I want this to be my darker flower. And then over here, we're really getting into those nitty gritty sections. So I'm going to, I think I'm not, so I have Pinkalicious, which is the next color, but I'm going to pull in a couple of other guys. So I'm going to actually start with Pinkalicious, and I'm going to go really light with this. Now, if you are nervous, because Pinkalicious is pretty bright, if you're nervous about that, you always can do a second layer of the base color. And then because you're layering the inks on top of each other, that will be fine. Now you'll notice I'm going soft. I'm starting off soft with the small blending brush. And that's because I'm just double checking where everything's going to be and getting a sense of what I'm doing and where I want my lights and my darks. Oh, isn't it fun, Terry? I love it too. It's fun. I think sharing, it's like sharing your, you're talking with a friend and you're sharing, the things that you love with them and they love it. It's great. And I think that's what's nice about our community. And that's what's great about our Facebook, our Altenew fan book page. All right. Now, if you notice, I'm really trying to get some color right off of the edge of this middle part, because I know that's where that's going to be the darkest part of my peony. All right, so now I'm going to come in with my next color, which is Rubellite, but I want to go like really, really just adding in just a little bit. So I'm going to take, this is my little smallest guy, and I'm just going to come in right off of those edges just to give a little bit of definition inside of this. So we can kind of see where the ruffles of those petals are. And again, that's the thing when you're stenciling. It's like sometimes it's like, you want to try to figure out still where all of those little pieces are, where that light's going to hit, where it's going to be a little bit lighter and be a little bit darker. All right. Now, since this is a little area, I'm just going to come in and add in a little bit of this. And I still have like 2 levels of color to go. So if I don't like this or I want to add in a little bit of dark, I still got somewhere to go. So that's what I'm going to keep this guy a little bit on the lighter side. And then I'm just going to come in over here and let's see how that goes. Okay. All right, I think that's going to be okay. I'm going to leave him there for right now. And I'm going to head over here to the green part, and I'm going to head over to my next green color, which I'm going to head over to just green. Now, I'm looking here too. This goes one more level up, and that is, so I have a little bit of way to go. Let me not do this one. Okay. All right. Oh my God, aren't they fabulous, Beverly? Oh, I'm so glad, Audrey. So glad. And the brushes help a lot. They really do. Like, I think I used to struggle so much, and I really struggled because I just didn't have the right tools. And once you kind of have those tools, it does make a difference. I have to say. Personally, that's what I think. They really, really do make a difference. Okay. All right, so now we're going to pull this back. Oh, I got to do this guy up here. I'm going to do something a little crazy because you guys are with me and we're having a great time today. So I'm going to do something a little bit crazy. And bear with me, though, because I will get there. All right, so I'm going to grab some terracotta. And this is pretty dark. And I'm just going to start to move this in. I don't need to go all the way with this. Like, I don't need to do every little nook and cranny. So I'm just going to focus on keeping that a little bit dark and then letting that go over to the light. That's all. I know it feels like, oh, but Amy, you're leaving stuff and you didn't put ink over there. It's okay. Giving you permission. It's okay not to do it. So don't do it. Okay, there we go. So now we're starting to see this coming up, right? So we have this pretty, really, really super nice flower here with the purple. We have our little bit of pink, but we can start to see that. So we got one more layer to go that's really going to start to make some major impact. And that layer, I'm going to do something a little funky. So there's two things going on here with this part. So we're going to finish off the stem and the leaves with a nice dark color. Now, if you'll notice, I have like a lot of like little edges around. And I think what I want to do is I'm actually going to emboss this part up here with some gold. And I was going to, oh, you know what would be beautiful? We're going to emboss this. We're embossing it, guys. I'm going for it. Going for it. You guys are with me? Is everybody okay with that? Now, I don't like to do it. I like to make sure that like my, ink is really super dry, but because it's live and you guys are with me, we're going to go for it. Okay. Now, this will make sense in a second. So what's fabulous about this is I can actually emboss right through my stencil. And I know you guys have done this and it's, yeah, sure. I'm going to give you guys a choice because I'm kind of like on the fence between these two things. Now, you know what? I might do both. And so I'm going to grab my embossing ink. And here's my gold. All right. Oh, copper. Not big. So I actually have a dedicated brush that is just for embossing powder. And it's the only one that I use for that. It's not there for anything else. I just use it for embossing ink. And that is this poor guy. So I'm just going to grab him. And I'm not going to emboss on the green, but I do want to emboss on this. Now, when I'm embossing, I want to try to get all of this ink in these nooks and crannies. So I am like pushing down. So rose gold pigment ink. Oh, it always seems to smear. Christine, what paper are you using that on? Just regular white paper? You do sometimes with the pigment inks, you do need to like let them dry. And then it also, so it's two things. One is your paper. And then the other one, the other one is your environment. And so if you're in like a basement where it might be a little bit, not as dry, etc., that would do. It may be that you might need to have to heat, just put some clear embossing powder over it. But what type of paper you use? Hammer mill. It's funny. Are you in like a area that might be, like the Pacific Northwest and it's kind of humid all the time? Or in an area of your house where it might be super humid? All right, so I'm just going to grab my dark green because I want to get this done. Now, I don't want to do like everything here dark green. I just want to do it in a little bit of, a couple of different places. So I'm going to grab my mini blending tool, and I am just going to put this in where I want it to go. So, do you guys love the blending? I kind of miss, you know, stamps. Like when we had the stamps, you know, the layered stamps. I love those. It was always magic when they would come out. You know, it's always so amazing when those would like pop through. So, oh, I know, it's so pretty. Oh, it's too bad it's smearing. And you've tried everything. Like, how long have you had to put it in there to let it dry for? I don't know if I've ever had it smear on me. If you're like, the ink, but you also could just use embossing powder, which is like what I'm about to do now. Okay, guys, choice time. Oh, I got some green on there. Sorry. We'll move on. I'm going to do these guys up here in gold, and it looks like I got a little bit of residuals on there, but that's fine. So I have a question. Do you think on this flower, should I use the raspberry? So it's going to make it really, really dark. Or I could go with golden peach. So I'm going for peach or raspberry. So let me know what you think. Throw that in the comments and let me know. Dedicated embossing sponge. That's a good idea there, Wendy, just to make sure that you have that. Yeah. And again, these might be a little bit funky because I didn't let this dry very well, but that's okay. We'll make it work, guys. Usually before, when I stencil, like, and there's so much ink on here, usually what I do is I make sure this dries like for a day or so before I get to it. All right, peach, 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 peach. All right, I'm seeing peaches. Peach, 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 peach. Oh, there's a couple of raspberries. Raspberries making it. I know, Carrie. I kind of want to do both. I kind of want to see both. And I may do like a little bit of, I might actually do a little bit of both. Oh, I think we're in a tie. Raspberry. Oh my gosh, I think we're in a tie, guys. No, we can't be in a tie. Oh, raspberry's going. Go for the drama. Oh, Tracy, I got to, right? All right, I think I'm going to do both. I know you guys are thinking I'm nuts, but it's going to be okay, I promise. So I'm going to do a little bit. It's always a little tricky, but I'm going to do a little bit of peach. Let's see here. This is always a little tricky. Okay. This will make sense. This will make sense. You guys trust me, right? Who out there is like, yes, trust in the process. Trust in the process. Trust in the process. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you're here, Angela. We do. We do a lot of crazy things. Thanks, Charlene. Trust in the process. Center and P. That's what I was thinking, Tracy. Tracy, you're reading my mind. That's what I'm doing. All right, now we're going to add a little raspberry. And what's nice is the raspberry, if there's any like little sections that the peach didn't get to, then I can throw that raspberry on and it will go right where I want it. And of course, you know what? You got a brush. So if you hate it, you're like, nope, I don't like it, just use the brush. And you can, not that one though. And you can get it out where you don't want it. So I don't want it here. This is a little too much. Don't want that. That's okay. That's a little too much. And you kind of make your own little colors. And I love doing that for like those really super end detail layers is I'll use some embossing powder because then it's kind of neat and it's a neat way to do it, right? Oh, and Wendy, oh my gosh. I think we are out of time. But you guys are going to watch me emboss this and we'll talk about what I was going to do to finish it up. Now, what's super great about this die set is it actually comes with its own sentiment. And so what I did is I already took a moment and I did that sentiment in gold paper. So this is in gold metallic paper. And there's even a shadow to it. And so the shadow I did in vellum. All right, let's put that over there. And you can always take this and I can sprinkle a little bit more on. But it's just neat to have just a little bit of something and a little bit of texture. And it just adds a little bit of shine. And it's just a nice way to finish off, I think, a stencil. Because, you know, stencils are flat and we're trying to give them dimension. But how pretty is that, huh? So we looked at that stenciling. Now I know you guys are like, but you had a second project. You're right. So I was going to come in and I'll show this to you guys just a little bit. This is on black cardstock. And so you can actually take that same stencil. So this is stencil number 1. And what I did with this is I used the Cloud White pigment ink. And by putting that down first, now you do need to make sure that it dries. You can't just go in and start digging around in this. But I did the Cloud White pigment ink. And then my second layer, I can use ink. And you see, it just looks so, look at that. Look at how ethereal that is. Look at how gorgeous, right? And so I wanted to do that stencil on here, but how pretty this is. So this is the snow cap, the White Cap Peonies. I'm still thinking snow. Stencil from Stencil Art, but so beautiful. But yeah, try that on. Is that heat going to hurt the sticky mat? So Beth, no. So because I'm moving it around, I know you saw me like, what the heck are you doing? But because I'm moving it around and I have that like a pretty thick paper behind, nope, totally fine. That's fine. Totally fine. Totally fine to use. So it's great. And you can just see how pretty that looks when we start to put that sentiment on there. Look how nice. Oh, gorgeous, right? All right. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. And thank you for taking a moment out of your day and spending it with us. And from all of us here at Altenew, have a super fabulous and crafty day. All right. Bye, everybody.